girlfriend keeps getting dogs without asking. Title basically describes it. I, 30M, have been dating my girlfriend, 29F, for 3 years. She brought 2 dogs into the relationship, one young mix and one old Pomeranian. We lived together for /1 year until COVID started. When it began, she began to self-quarantine and asked me to temporarily move out as I work in close contact /W others. I was upset about this, but agreed and asked my parents to watch the young dog to better meet its needs. Over the summer, she volunteered to foster a larger mixed breed shelter puppy for companionship. I was okay with fostering, but subsequently feel misled as she decided to keep it. Other than falling in love with it, her reasons were wanting a larger guard dog to make her feel safe, and to have a puppy for emotional support for when the older dog, who she was very close to, passed. This caused a huge fight, but the result was conciliatory. I agreed to accept the dog, and she agreed to only make big decisions together in the future. We recently moved back in together, planning to bring middle dog back from my parents, but last week we had to put our eldest dog down. This affected us both, but she was devastated as it was her lifelong companion. She soon expressed wanting another Pomeranian. I opposed it, as we still had 2 dogs, and the foster was supposed to serve this purpose. Last Thursday she asked to go to a puppy store. I said I wouldn't go, and reiterated my desires. She returns, and tells me she placed a deposit on a Pomeranian. I was furious, and said it would be a deal breaker for me. The next day, she returned with a Pomeranian puppy. I left, and have been staying at my parents' and a hotel since. I feel betrayed. Not only was it done behind my back, but also the exact scenario we agreed not to repeat. I feel totally without agency, and that I'm not an equal partner in the relationship. It also hurts that I and our 2 dogs aren't enough emotional support. From her POV, this was necessary to get over her loss. She believes our agreement was in good faith, but didn't realize how hard it would be on her. She feels her need should come before my want, and expects me to be understanding. She promises to be the primary caregiver, and will handle all responsibilities and expenses. She is sorry, but doesn't believe this to be a reason to end things. I don't know what options I have. I don't even know what a compromise looks like. I asked her to return the dog, but she refuses. I love her and saw our future together, but am sick of having decisions unilaterally made for me. What would you do? What is there even to do? Buckle in for a lifetime of impulse life-changing decisions that she didn't discuss with you first. She isn't sorry. She would, and will, do this again in a heartbeat because she doesn't care what you want if it interferes with what she wants. You told her it was a deal breaker. If you don't stick to that, she will know that you never mean what you say and will run all over you for the rest of your lives. This is relationship ending. If you stay, you will feel unheard and like your wishes are unimportant, because to her your wishes are unimportant, for the rest of your life. You two are incompatible. I love dogs, but getting animals is something everyone that lives in the house should agree with. Animals are not something you should impulse buy. She was aware you were against it and still brought a dog home. If you want to stay with her, she needs to learn to respect your boundaries. She is sorry, but doesn't believe this to be a reason to end things. No, she's not. If she felt that way she would never have gone behind your back. If you don't follow through and end things she will just keep walking all over you. Wife of 14 years was unhappy and started an emotional affair without even talking to me about issues. Last week my wife dropped a bomb on me that she was no longer in love with me and was talking to an old flame. This flame is someone she hasn't talked to in over 10 years until late January. She dated him when she was a freshman in HS. Off and on contact after but no contact in over 10 years. Geographically they've only met once for lunch. They only talk on the phone. She had been distant and cold for a few weeks prior. The emotional affair had been going on for about a month when she dropped the bomb. She said how sorry she was that she was hurting me and that it's nothing I had done, but she had to see this out. He was her soulmate, a term she has used with me many times in our marriage. We are coming up on our 14th wedding anniversary. We have 2 kids and tightly interconnected family and friends. This is wrecking so many lives. Only her mom and her best friend and my best friend know anything at the moment. She doesn't communicate well well. Never has. She bottles things up until then makes a rash decision, blowing thing up into worse scenarios. But we've never had something like this. I knew the I didn't do anything wrong wasn't the full story. Through much crying and talking and prodding, she indicated that she was tired. That I've been an emotional drain on her for some time, and also I have neglected to give her the attention she desired. I was shocked at this, but I felt like a light had been turned on. I've been on an emotional roller coaster and have dumped my issues onto my wife for the 2 to 3 years. Pandemic has made it worse. I have also not paid her attention when I should have, putting too many other things in front of our marriage. House, kids, job. I thought being a great father and provider, which I am, would be my thing. I was stupid and blind, and now it's so clear what I have put her through. But I'm beyond devastated that she chose to cheat instead of trying to talk through it. Her defense is that I wouldn't have listened. She's probably right. I'm hard to talk to. It might have taken more than a single conversation to make this happen. She brought up this issue exactly 0 times. But you can bet you but if she had said I'm unhappy and we need marriage counseling, I've scheduled it for us, be there or else, I'd have been there. I love her. I can overlook the affair. First things first, I hurt first. She hurt worst. We deal with the original issues, then move to the infidelity. I've owned up to my mistakes and committed to personal counseling so that I never dump my issues on her again. I'm trying to make very small gestures that would help. We have a marriage counseling date set, but she says she's only going to help me and that it won't change anything. She wants to do a trial separation in the summer once the kids are out of school because she needs her space. I've been trying to show her that my eyes are open and I am paying attention to her hints from the past, but she says she doesn't believe me and that it's not genuine. She says if we did reconcile, men don't change, and it will only be temporary. I told her if it is temporary, she's gone. Before I was oblivious of the consequences. Now they are right in my face. I've asked her to stop talking to him and work on her marriage for the kids' sake at least, and she owes it to herself to have said she tried, which she has not at this point. If he is her soulmate, he will wait. He's going through a divorce himself. She said she won't stop talking to him and she doesn't think marriage should be this hard. I entered into marriage expecting it to be hard and expecting to have problems eventually. We've had a great many good years but never any horrible. I don't know what to do. I've got roughly 2.5 months before she moves out. We are still sleeping in the same bed. She seems like a completely different person. Not just to me. Some of her comments seem out of character. My wife is a tough woman. She's not a quitter. This is completely out of character. Her mom is devastated. She loves me and thinks my wife is making a grave mistake. I feel like I'm doing the right things, but any further advice that could help salvage this would be greatly appreciated. Has anyone dealt with a similar situation, and do you have any advice to give? Thanks. Edit. My comment about going for her throat in a divorce was made in anger. That's not me. Never done this before. She's the mother of my children and hurting her only hurts them. She's gone. At this point it sounds like she is trying to let you down as easy as possible. Switch bedrooms and go talk to a lawyer. You don't have to file yet, but it's good to ask questions about how divorce works in your state. Also, and I cannot stress this enough, don't take it easy on her in the divorce. Fight for your kids, fight for your home, fight for everything. If not, you might end up losing way more than your wife. Sorry, it sounds like she's made up her mind. While she blamed you, you were happy to take all of that blame. Big mistake. If you want to take blame for your share of the breakdown of the marriage, take 50%. She has a responsibility here too. She gets the other 50%. As for the affair, that's all her. 100% is her. While her mother and you and others may feel like she's making a grave mistake, it won't stop her from making it anyway. You feel like your eyes are wide open now and you can see everything you did and didn't do. But if you stay in this pick-me dance, you will end up stripped of your dignity. While that might not seem important now and fixing things with her feels like the priority, trust me, when you look back you'll want to know your dignity was intact. It will matter. I'm sorry I can't tell you what you want to hear, but I've been where you are and I've done that. I hung on for my kids. I didn't do them any favors. It took me a while to realize they were better coming from a broken home than living in one. I know you don't want to hear this, but the best thing you can do at this point is to let go. You can't have a relationship with someone who doesn't want a relationship with you, and that's the bottom line. Sorry. Sorry to say this, but this is very likely unsalvageable. Just know this: you are not solely to blame for this. You both are. You both are. The way that you are and the way you both handle things led to this. Don't completely blame yourself. Learn from this and bring those lessons to your next relationship. That's all you can do, and you'll be better for it in the end. I went through something similar with my ex. Completely changed my life for the better. She's bailed on you, bail on her. Don't sleep in the same bed. Prepare for a divorce. Get proof of her confession. Contact a lawyer. Don't talk to her about it. Work out. Get a therapist for yourself. Maybe for the kids as well. If it won't hurt you in the divorce, maybe start setting other women. Don't chase what you can't have. Without your soon-to-be ex's full support, there is no way you can save this marriage, and she's not giving you any support here. She wants another man, not you. She didn't pick him up to make you jealous, to supplement you, or in moment of weakness. She picked him up because she checked out of your marriage. Don't throw good money after bad. Do what you can to care the best possible outcome for yourself. Sorry to say it, but she's gone. Make peace with it. She has no desire to be with you. Nothing you say or so will make her love you and not him. Just move on with your life and be a great father for your kids. I, 25M, ruined my girlfriend's, 28F, college graduation, and she's giving me grief for it months later. My GF finished college back in January. It's been a long road for her. Medical issues, mental problems, and a change of major meant that her 5-year degree took 7. I graduated college a couple of years ago, and have been working ever since. The run-up to her graduation was rough. She was stressed about her thesis, and I essentially didn't have a partner for 3 months. Took care of everything at home. I helped her write her assignment, and I'm having a hard time keeping up at work, so I'm working maybe 5 to 10 hours of overtime every week. For her graduation, I pulled out as many stops as I could. Her friends came to surprise her at a COVID-approved distance outside our window. I made sure champagne was ready, and I had to leave the flat for a work thing, but came back ASAP when she had her final defense and got her grade, which was the top one, of course. Since she's brilliant and poured her heart into this, I'd made sure her work got her flowers, and a lot of her family and friends remembered as well. We lived in a greenhouse for a good few days afterwards as they kept trickling in. Anyway, we then went to pick up sushi of her choosing from her favorite place. Now, for some context, I've been going through a rough time recently. I've been incredibly stressed. I'm in a new therapy schedule, and I felt very alone for months leading up to that day. On the day, work was particularly brutal. I'd felt like screaming the entire day. When I graduated college, nobody really noticed. My girlfriend did a little thing with some champagne, but that was it. We did go out to eat as well. So, when we were sat down for dinner, the immediate excitement of her grade and her finally finishing faded. The last 4 months of emotional void kept creeping up on me, the stress of that particular awful day, and as much as I hate to admit it, a twinge of jealousy that she's being celebrated so much more than I was. As we were eating dinner, I was fighting back tears. I don't know what the fuck happened to me. She could tell something was up, and I couldn't keep up the facade for too long. I apologized profusely and went to get my shit together in the bathroom for a bit. I'll be the first to admit that I wasn't very fun for the rest of the evening. Here's the problem: she's telling me I ruined her graduation from college. That particular word was used. I've ruined it. She told me a few days later, in tears, that I had to make up for it somehow. I asked her what to do, and she said just do what they do in a movie. Now, she'll pull this line out occasionally. It's an awful line, but I know what she means. She wants an over-the-top gesture, and it's pretty obvious that she wants me to stage a new, fake graduation that I don't fuck up. But I'll be honest, it's hard. Just don't have the energy to do it. She'll bring it up now and again, and every time, she reiterates the same thing. The longer I wait, the more special and perfect it has to be. I don't do well under that kind of pressure. In fact, I hate it pretty intensely. And now I'm completely demotivated to do it. and I still feel a little betrayed. On one hand, I get that she wanted the day to be all about just her. On the other hand, I feel like I did everything I'm supposed to. I didn't mean to get upset. I didn't get angry, or lash out, or forget something, or fail to plan something up to code. I felt really shitty and started crying. And finally, I felt like it was the final day that was all about her on the tail end of 4 months where my needs, emotional or physical, didn't exist. What the fuck do I do? How do I talk to her about this in a way that doesn't result in me feeling awful? TL, doctor, stress, emotional problems and general badness got the best of me during girlfriend's college graduation dinner. I've now ruined it and she expects an over-the-top new fake graduation to compensate.